The sun glinted off the surface of Willow Lake as Daniel Reeves sat on the porch of the cottage he'd recently purchased, sipping black coffee and watching mist rise from the water. Peaceful. Just what he'd needed after years in the city. But the tranquility shattered when a crisp knock came at the door. A woman in a pastel polo with a clipboard, her name tag read Linder, HOA president, stood with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She handed him a thick packet. Welcome to the Willow Lake community. Membership is mandatory. Daniel, a quiet man with a calm demeanor and a past in real estate lore, politely declined. He wasn't interested in the fees, the rules about loan length, or the monthly meetings. He just wanted a place to breathe. Linder's smile vanished. You don't understand, as she said. No one lives here without being part of the HOA. We maintain standards. Daniel thanked her and closed the door gently. That night, he watched her car pull away, headlights cutting through the dusk like accusations. He didn't know it yet, but she was already making calls. 2 days later, sirens split the quiet. 2 officers approached Daniel's cottage, asking why he was refusing to comply with community regulations. Daniel, ever calm, explained he was under no obligation to join a voluntary association. The officers, confused, left after checking his deed. But the confrontation wasn't over. That evening, a photo of Daniel's cottage appeared in the private HOA Facebook group, captioned, "This is what happens when outsiders disrespect our way of life." Who gave him the key? Neighbors whispered. Children stared. Daniel said nothing. He wasn't angry, just sad. He'd hoped this place could be a fresh start, a return to simplicity. Instead, he was being treated like an intruder. But Daniel held a truth no one knew. The deed to the cottage, and nearly half the lakefront lots, was in his name. He'd inherited the property from his late aunt, who'd quietly acquired the land over decades. He wasn't just a homeowner. He was the landlord. And Linder? She was renting from him. The HOA called an emergency meeting. Signs went up. Protect our community standards. Daniel decided to attend, not to argue, but to understand. Under the old oak by the lake, neighbors gathered. Linder stood at the front, voice sharp with authority, listing his violations: no flagpole, no approved mailbox, no participation in the July 4th parade. Then Daniel stepped forward. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't point fingers. He simply opened a folder and projected a document onto a screen. The master deed, the lease agreements, the legal ownership of the land. I didn't buy this place to control anyone, he said. I bought it because my aunt loved this lake. She watched generations grow up here. She never raised your rent. She fixed your roofs when storms came. He looked at Linder. You've been renting Lot 7B for 12 years. Your lease is up for renewal next month. Silence fell like snow. Linder's face drained of color. Days passed. No more flyers. No more stares. Then, on Daniel's porch, a plain envelope. Inside, a single key and a note in shaky handwriting. I didn't know. I thought I was protecting the community. I'm sorry. Daniel held the key, then walked to the lake. He didn't confront Linder. He didn't gloat. Instead, he proposed a new idea at the next meeting. A resident council, no mandatory fees, no fines. Just neighbors helping neighbors. Some stayed in the old HOA. Others joined the new group. But something shifted. Lawns were still mowed, lights still lit on porches, but now there was laughter at the dock, shared pies at sunset, and every morning, Daniel sat on his porch with coffee. Not as a landlord. Not as a rebel. Just as someone who chose kindness when power was within his grasp. The lake remembered his aunt. Now, it was starting to remember him.